Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Local Film Talk, the show where we talk to local filmmakers about the projects they're working on. Right now, we are having, this is a special episode because we have way more people on here than I've ever had before. We got 4 guests going on here. So we have Alan Watkins, who tell us a little bit about your role with Fix It and Post and Adrenalin Films.
I initially started where I was just going to be an actor, but turned out I turned out to be more crew than it was. But I played Alan the cameraman in the film, and I ended up shooting a lot of it, and also did a lot of behind the scenes stuff as well.
Okay, cool. And we also have here Miss Christine Parker, the director of Fix It and Post. Thank you for joining us, Christine.
Thanks.
We also have Tom Gore here, one of the stars of the picture. Thanks for joining us, Tom.
Happy to be here. Love the show.
Thank you. And we also have Bill Mulligan, the writer and also one of the stars of the show, and apparently his cat. Thank you both for joining us.
That makes me look like a super villain. I point out I'm the co-writer. Christine and I did the script together.
Co-writer. You and Christine worked together on that one. Okay. Awesome.
If I don't give her full credit, she beats me.
That's right.
So, Fix It and Post. It's a feature film, actually, and not you guys' first feature film, but it is a feature film about a film crew working out in the woods at the time of a apocalyptic event. Christine, you want to go ahead and fill us in on it?
Okay, basically they're shooting their latest epic film called Ninjas vs. Zombies.
Yes!
That was Tom, for anyone who missed it.
I was okay with that.
I think Christine froze up. Are you there, Christine?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Yeah, tell us a little bit about the film. How long were you guys working on this one? Or I guess the place to start is you said you and Bill co-wrote it.
Right.
How did you first come up with the idea?
We were on our way to, I think it was Cayuga, for our 2012 post-apocalyptic party. And we were talking about what if the apocalypse really did happen, and we were out in the middle of shooting a film, and you know, how would we handle it and stuff. And we started coming up with all these ideas. And I think by the end we thought, well, you know, this would probably be a pretty funny film. Let's do it.
Well, I hope you guys would do a little bit better than the characters in the film.
I don't know.
Totally
I really
not.
don't.
No, we totally not.
I think
Those
it would
weren't
be pretty
characters.
close.
Those were actual portrayals.
Most people think it's fiction. It's actually a documentary.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All the characters were named after the person they were playing. So, for example, I was Alan the cameraman, so they wrote it the way they thought I would act in the apocalypse.
Gotcha. Okay. Except, of course, for Tom. How'd you get your nickname, Tom?
I was a combination of 2 other characters that thought they had something better to do during the apocalypse, Kevin and Dave. So those names got amalgamated, as well as their personalities, and then I actually was created on set out of a petri dish Bill Mulligan brought.
Nice. So between Christine and Bill, who was the primary writer? I know Bill does a lot of writing. Did you do most of the scripting phase? Did you guys just bounce the story off of each other, or was it were you writing together in the same room? Did you pass drafts back and forth?
What?
Yeah, I don't know who. I don't know if I could really say who wrote most of it. To tell you the truth.
No, because we just bounced it back and forth. We co-wrote using Celtics, and it was you know, basically I would write something and he would get a notice that I'd written something, and then he'd go around there and write some more, and then, you know.
And sometimes there were arguments about who wrote what, and neither one of them would own up to it. I remember a few of those at 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, I was curious about in the film because there seemed to be, I like a lot of the jokes. There's a lot of humor in there. Did a lot of it happen, like we said, there were probably a lot of outtakes. Did a lot of it happen on set, or was a lot of that dialogue and those jokes already in the script?
I think most of the really funny stuff Bill wrote. All the cerebral jokes are his. And then there was definitely some ad-libbing going on, for sure.
When you guys...
I think Christine should get credit for a lot of the plot.
Okay. So Christine did the plotting and Bill did the jokes.
And he got a lot of his jokes cut
And
out.
so
There was a lot of ad-libbing.
A lot. Have you tried to read Bill's writing? I mean, I understand that there's some people that want to excel at reading the 10th grade reading level, but Bill writes Shakespeare, a dead language. No one knows how to read that.
So Adrenalin Films, you guys have been working together for a long time. Did you go back to the well of your normal collaborators for this particular movie, or did you add in a lot of new people?
We added in a lot of new actors, but for the most part, our crew and people that worked on creating it, the pre-production stuff were the same.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
I think, Tom, was this your first time working with them?
It was, yes. It was definitely my first time working with them, and it's a great experience that has me pretty much cemented in as whenever they say something, I'm already on my way to do it again with them.
How did you
he's
get in
willing
with
to
the
pick
group,
up-
Tom?
I stalked them,
That's always a good tactic.
period.
Kidnap one of them.
I mean, I've tried using that a few times before, but it always ends up in lawsuits. So,
Well,
what's your secret?
Are you using chloroform or ether? Because that helps. You know, it's a choice.
Golf club.
Oh, that's why. That's
Damn.
just bad business.
Sorry, I'm a blunt instrument kind of guy.
And you got to give them a change of clothes afterwards. That's important.
See, I don't think these things through. I don't come up with the details down the road like you do. That's why you're the pro. Alan, how about you? How did you get involved in this group?
Well, I went to a zombie extra shoot in, God, I don't even know what year that was now, whenever we shot A Few Brains More, one Easter weekend, and I had sort of been on a hiatus from making films. I had made some in college, and it was sort of those films where you do everything yourself and you kind of get burned out on it. Then I met these people and I was like, hey, I don't actually have to do everything there is to make a film. And I sort of took the Tom approach. I didn't use ether or chloroform, but I stalked them. I was like, surely there's something you can let me do. You can let me do something here. And so I started doing lighting, and then from there you just did whatever. And on this last project, they sucked me in by promising me that all I was going to do was act.
You should know better than that.
I did. I was like, oh, it's going to be great just to show up and not have to bring any of my equipment. And that lasted for a few weeks, and then I was loading the van up with all the equipment. Yeah, but it's lots of fun.
You trusted us.
That's the way it was supposed to be. That stuff happens.
But yeah, you got to enjoy it because you're hanging out till 2 or 3 a.m. when it's about 20 or 30 degrees a lot of times. So yeah, it's definitely a labor of love.
Yeah, I like moving cars.
So you got the Bill and Christine, you guys got the thing written. You rounded up the usual suspects. Sorry, I forgot to flip the camera watching. What the hell is that, Tom? Is that a bird?
It's a dragon egg.
Oh, a dragon egg. Okay. What did you play with your dragon egg over there? And we got a dog over here in Alan's lap.
Yeah,
Or we
she
did
wasn't
for a
gonna shut up,
second.
so I had to touch her.
And Bill's got his cat. Christine, you and I are the only ones without pets in our laps.
They're not in my lap. They're just around me. My
Mine
dog is big to be in my lap.
Mine is hiding under the couch right now.
Yeah.
So you guys round up the usual suspects and get ready to start shooting. When was this, and how long was the production process? Because you guys were working on this one for quite a while.
Yeah, the production was about 6 months. Pre-production was almost a year, I think, just planning
wow.
it and raising the money for it. And then post was about another 6 months to a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one was a long time in the making. Now, where, were the locations?
It was mostly in Youngsville,
Okay.
and we also did some shooting in out in Greensboro,
Mount
Yeah.
Airy.
Mount Airy.
Mount Airy, and Enfield,
Okay.
and actually a little bit in Apex, in my apartment in Apex. That was where the first scene was shot.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason it took 2 years is because we had such a big cast. I mean, which we always say we won't do again, but we do.
Yeah, that is one thing I'll say about your movies from looking at your the portfolio videos you sent me, Christine, is that I don't think I saw a single video, no matter what length, that had less than 6 or 7 people in it. So you guys do have a usually right with a large cast, which is unusual for a lot of these indie projects, and I think you guys can tell us why. It's really hard to wrangle 20 or 30 people.
Oh yeah.
When you have every scene has at least 8 people in it, it can be really hard to work around everyone's schedules.
And that's Bill's fault. He writes all these characters.
Throw me under the bus. Look at this. Wow, look at that.
I'm like, Bill, don't we have enough characters? He's like, yeah, but this is a really good one.
I totally agree.
And then he writes himself into the scripts, so I can't say no to that.
There are a lot of makeup effects guys in Bill's works, I've noticed.
Yeah.
So this was a year-round shoot. I guess what were some of the complications or funny stories or stuff you had to deal with the weather? And I guess partially the conditions.
Funny story. We almost died of pneumonia.
Oh, okay. That does sound funny. Tell us that one. I'm laughing already.
The thing about the trees you were mentioning, that actually worked pretty well because we shot in front of a bunch of pine trees, so they stayed pretty much green the whole time.
Oh, that's good thinking. I like that.
There was one. It always, in North Carolina, the weather fools you. It starts getting, it gets really cold in November, and then it kind of goes back up a little bit in December. It seems like, and we shot something in November, and so we were bundled up except when we were shooting. And when you see the film, my hair is all messed up, but it works out really great because I was supposed to have just woken up, but I hadn't, and it was completely unintentional. I just had a hat on every time we weren't shooting. But yeah, I mean, I guess that was supposed to be summer, right? It was like, what, 40
yes,
maybe?
It's supposed to be summer, yeah. You can see the blanket under the table, really, if you look.
Well, I imagine, and given the story you guys are telling me, how long this was in production, continuity had to be a real issue. How did you guys try to cover continuity issues over such a long span of time,
We tried to shoot things as closely as possible, like finish one scene at a time instead of cutting them up and shooting them later. But there were a couple that we couldn't do that with. So we had some wardrobe people that were supposed to help us figure that out. They would take pictures of the people and how they looked and email the actors and let them know this is how you're supposed to look for that scene. And we did okay, I think, considering we didn't have a very huge crew. But it was definitely challenging.
And a lot of us left our clothes there, if you remember. We had bags with our names on them, and when we got done with the scene, they were putting Alan on the bag, and I had shorts, a yellow pullover, and that black shirt underneath, and they were in the bag. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember just acquiring clothes throughout the whole production.
Yep.
Is that shirt that you're wearing? Is that a freebie you got from the production?
No, I bought this.
They paid you in outfits.
I went to Kohl's.
He really just had 2 outfits for the whole production.
I've been wearing the same clothes, the same set of clothes for like 2 years straight for this production.
I hope they got washed at some point.
What's that?
Actually, that is one of the things they told us. I assume they were telling us the truth, but they took all the clothes every time. They put them in the bags and they took them home and washed them so that when we came back, at least we weren't wearing clothes that had been worn for 3 months straight. So
that's the story, and they're sticking to it.
I think they just Febrezed them.
So, speaking
Luckily, Tom did a couple of tours of Afghanistan, so, it didn't seem quite so bad in comparison.
Not really.
Bill, I believe you're the effects guy. You want to talk about some of the effects in this movie?
It was interesting because, in this case, we were trying to be deliberately not very good. The whole premise was that these are not particularly great filmmakers, so their zombies shouldn't look all that great, which I hope people realize when they look at this, and like if they're ever thinking about having me do zombies for them, I really can do good zombies, but just didn't do great zombies for this one. So, what effects did we have?
You had your eyeball.
I got my eyeball shot out. Yeah.
Yeah. Ted got shot a few times.
Yeah. There were
we made it look like Shane was being peed on. That was cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, peeing on Shane.
Yes.
There were the various soups and stews that everybody had to eat.
Yes.
What were
That was
Bill
disgusting.
concocted
That was
those. I don't know what the heck was in that.
Those were made on set.
it was a mess. Oh,
I can only
methyl
imagine.
cellulose slime, some actual soup, some fake bugs and chopped up rubber snakes and leaves and twigs and just horrifying.
Stop! You're making me
It got
hungry.
worse and worse.
And there's one scene that I guess it didn't make the movie, but Bill actually made us eat bark, and that didn't make it to the final.
That was
film.
in the
That was
That's in the
no, that was
promo.
in the trailer.
that was just
I
you.
still want to see the video of me eating bark because that was.
I think I was
man.
supposed to bring something for them to eat, but we didn't. I forgot, so they ate
Yes.
bark. It's not the worst thing they'll ever put in their mouth.
Oh my!
The shrooms were tasty.
Mhm.
Yeah, Bill, did you make them actually eat mushrooms you found in the woods?
Not found in the woods. I actually bought some store-bought mushrooms and painted them, so they were eating paint.
I'd like to take a second to say that knowing now that Tom has been eating paint chips really explains a lot.
Yes, it does.
When he
guess.
says painted shrooms that he got from the store, the guy outside the store selling caps out of the side of his van doesn't count. But man, they were
No,
good.
no, actually,
Oh, wow.
we probably did eat at least. We ate better on this film than we probably have on some of the rest of them.
Oh yeah.
Um,
You did have some
especially
good
for
food there.
ones
Oh,
that
yeah.
sort of go on for months and months. We had food until the end, I believe.
We
Okay.
lost Bill.
Oh no, Bill's gone.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Who's going to tell us how to make put cat brains in a jar now? So so yeah, that was an interesting third act that you guys had. The two film crews kind of having a standoff to prove which one is better.
Well, it was actually heavy stunts. Stunt choreography was done in that scene. I mean, the actors, Alan Watkins and Shane Terry, not having any stunt background at all whatsoever, and to go right off the
To
bat
jump
to be
over a fence.
choreographed.
What was this?
talking about where we jumped over that fence.
The hop in the fence?
Oh yeah. Actually, the most dangerous thing we did while we were on set was at least that I did was while we were shooting one of the little simulated productions, and one of the wooden beams from the set fell down and hit me in the shoulder, and I didn't really think anything of it. I'm running the camera and I try to keep going, and I look back and I look at this thing that hit me, and if that thing would have been about 6 inches to the left, it would have conked me on the head, and there's no doubt I would have been out. I would have definitely been out. Yeah, jumping that fence was nothing after that.
You guys had a couple interesting set pieces in there, and at the moment I'm specifically thinking of the market in the beginning, where they all pretend to be zombies and rob the market, because that was a cool scene. I like that one.
Oh, good. Yeah, it took us a long time to find a grocery store. I mean, that was an exhaustive search, but we finally came up with one.
Yeah, Harris
And-
Teeter is not going to let you walk in and just start
No.
scraping stuff off the
No.
shelves.
Really, when you write a script and you write something into your script, you should have a place in mind before you put a grocery store in your script. But and then we had everybody save up their trash for like a month. Like, don't throw any of your boxes or cans away, so that we could stock the shelves and stuff. And the guy was really cool about letting us use it. The only issues we had was when we shot outside. Apparently, we were the most exciting thing in town because people kept driving by.
And then all of a sudden they showed up.
Yeah.
We have Bill. We have no picture.
We have William.
William is a little icon. We have William. Hi, William. You're a dot floating in a larger dot. There we go.
He's
Yeah,
back.
talking about the stuff that we shot outside. We probably got to that at about 1 in the morning,
Yeah.
and it should have only taken us about a half an hour, but it took us about 3 because I can't tell you the number of times that we said rolling, and then somebody said, "Hold on, I hear a car."
Yeah.
Come on, it's 1:30 in the morning. There's only about 50 people in this town, and they're all. It was just one guy, I think, just driving, back and forth, seeing what's going on. But yeah, the other effect that we did in that story. Remember the gun to the head? That we
Yeah.
did? That took a while because we wanted the guy supposed to hit his wife in the head with a can, and we needed him to really throw that can. You couldn't we didn't want you to be able to tell that he was like taking some off of his throw. So, he threw the can really hard just past her head, and we would catch it in the background. But yeah, that took a while to get to.
Yeah.
But that was inside. We didn't have to deal with cars when we were doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
So how long was the cleanup in that grocery store? Because you guys trashed it pretty good.
Not bad, actually.
It wasn't that bad, because it was all trash anyway, so we just picked it up and threw it away.
There, except what we brought, right?
Yeah, they didn't use it for anything, so.
Oh, that wasn't a functioning store?
No, it was closed down.
Oh, okay.
It was a nice find. It was a good find.
We had a bathroom, a working bathroom.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's key. Craft services in a working bathroom are always useful on a film set.
We had a portal for this one. That was a big step up.
Oh, you actually had a porta-john for when you were shooting in the woods?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Otherwise, we'd still be shooting that movie.
I guess since we've established that Adrenalin Films is already a group of people that have worked together a lot, who were some of the new cast and crew members? And how did you come by them? Because I believe Miles was new, wasn't he?
He was, and Lily Nelson, Katie Carpenter, Rebecca Larkin. They were all new. And then we also had a couple of DPs. Brent Mullen we'd worked with before. He was there for the first couple of shoots. And then also Robert Fillion was there too. And he shot part of the grocery store scene.
Yeah, we Skyped. We did some Skype interviews to find some of the folks there, and that was interesting. And we came across some of the people that we didn't use, really good actors. We've used some since, and maybe some more in the future. I mean, there's a lot of amazing acting talent out there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Tom.
And then there's Tom.
We knew he was a keeper when we showed him Alan's film, and he didn't run away screaming.
That's true.
In fact, we're still trying to get rid of him.
This horribleness that is Alan's film. And if that doesn't.
Which one?
Yeah, can you be more specific?
But the tentacles look good.
Monthly Visitor.
Oh, that one. See, I'm never going to live that down.
No, it's great.
Bill, you're being attacked by cats right now.
I am. This is my life.
Somebody's got the zoomies. So, were there any other stories you guys wanted to tell from the set?
Yeah, I wanted to mention also some other people that were in the movie. We had Jason and Lewis and Don Sill playing our douchebag rivals, and these guys were totally cast against type because they're all great people, but they played douchebags really well.
Yeah, I was kind of amazed to see Jason playing a character like that because I've met him before and we've talked to him before on the show, and he is not that guy, but he played it to the hill.
Yeah, I think we all know people like that, so it's easy to channel that type of person, I think.
So you guys finished shooting. When did you finish shooting? Early 2014?
No, it was April. Wasn't it April in 2014 that we finished shooting that last scene in Enfield?
Oh yeah,
I
the
believe
great
it was
battlefield scene.
Yeah.
So the battlefield scene was the last scene in the movie was the last scene you shot.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we blame Paul for all of that. And
Hey, you want to tell the funny anecdote from that scene?
You absolutely do.
You mean when Bill became an alcoholic?
Yes.
Yes, please tell. Please tell.
Well, okay, well, Amber Michaels, who's a really, really good makeup artist, she showed me this cool trick. If you want to distress clothes to make them look like zombie clothes, moldy, dirty, you dissolve some makeup in rubbing alcohol. They have these neat little spray bottles you can get at the drugstore. You dissolve makeup in that and spray it on the clothes. It dries very quickly because it's alcohol, and it leaves that like a mildew behind. It's really a good technique. So I was doing that. But at some point, I needed to use the spray bottle just to spray water. Now, I'm not going to throw out rubbing alcohol because that costs money and I'm cheap. So I found an empty water bottle, of which there were many, and poured it in there thinking I will pour it back in at a later thing. Now, everyone listening to this, if they're over the age of 2, knows where this story is going, but I did not.
It's going on the outtake reel. That's where it's going.
It was really, really hot. We went through, I don't know how many tons of bottled water. I mean, we just drank it like fish. It was all gone. We were all dying out there. And as we're leaving, finally, everything's done. Finally, it's over. We're leaving. And Christine's like, we got one more thing we have to shoot. And like, oh my God, but better to do it there than to have to come back and make another day of it. So I'm setting that up. It was Shane and I had a scene together. And I'm really, really thirsty. And as I'm getting ready for the scene, I find a half empty, meaning half full, bottle of crystal clear drinking water. Now, I don't know who drank the rest of it. He could have had herpes sores. He could have been a leper. Who knows? Could have been anyone. It was a big set. I didn't know everybody there. I didn't care. I was so parched. My throat was so dry, but not as dry as it became when I took this thing and I guzzled it down, and it got right about to here before it was like screaming, rubbing alcohol, and my vocal cords shriveled like grapes. And thank God I didn't actually swallow it because I'd be in the hospital or brain damaged or both. And I start gagging and retching and spitting, and my friends, all these people, look at all their pictures. Okay, they laugh.
Get the camera.
Get the camera rolling.
Oh, they laugh so much. They'd still be laughing. They wake up laughing about this story.
That's what friends are for.
That's what friends are for. At some point, they actually got concerned enough to come over and check on me, and Shane sniffed the bottle. I was like, oh my God, that's rubbing alcohol. And then they asked me if I was okay, and I answered, whatever I was. And here's the thing. They found some actual water. So they were holding out on me. They found some actual water that I was able to clear my throat out a little bit, and we were able to go on from there. Unfortunately, this was not all captured on film. At some point, they started filming me, rolling on the grass, and my eyes bugged out. But they didn't actually catch the moment, which I'd love to see, because I imagine I look like a Tex Avery cartoon character. My eyes got as big as saucers, like ooga kind of thing.
Oh, I can imagine.
I can look back at it now and laugh. Not as much as if it would happen to someone else, but I can laugh.
Oh man. Well, there you go, kids. Before you guzzle the water, take a sniff. Make sure it's not somebody's leftover rubbing alcohol.
Label your chemicals. I teach chemistry. I should know better, but I don't.
Yeah, never put something in a bottle labeled as something else. It'll bite you in the ass somehow. So you finished shooting in April of 2014, and then it goes into the editing process, which I guess took about a year or so. Who was the editor on this project?
Christine. I think it helps a lot to have a director who's also an editor. I think that saves you a lot of time you otherwise would waste shooting shots that are unnecessary.
That's one way to look at it.
Well, the other thing is I think Christine's an excellent editor. I directed one short, and I was really happy that she edited it. Because I get some surprises back. She makes some really good choices, and and she listens to any suggestions you have. But frankly, I thought she knocked it out of the park on the first try. And I've done some editing myself, as Alan will tell you, and it's no fun to edit. Let me tell you, and I think that's where most of the creativity is. I think editors get a fraction of the credit they deserve. Everyone gives the director credit.
Everyone gives the director credit.
It's tolerable.
Yeah.
Well, no, Bill and Christine have edited several things that I've written, and it's one right, it's vision for it, and when you get it back, you're like, oh, that's horrible. But when you get something back and it's better than you envisioned it in your mind, I mean, that's great, and that's why I love not editing my own stuff.
Well, that's interesting, Ed, that the different ways you guys approach the projects. So back to Fix It and Post. Once you finally got it edited, when was the first premiere?
That was at Mysticon, the end of February.
Okay. How'd it go over?
It went over really well. We got Best Film, so.
Good.
Yeah, we had a great audience. Yeah, it was wonderful.
So I got to ask, if you guys don't mind sharing, what was the budget on this one, and have you made it back yet? And Christine's still frozen.
No.
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 She came back to say
the budget was about, I think it was about $7,000.
Oh wow!
It's amazing you can make a movie for $7,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most people use that for a short film. We wanted to have $40,000 to make it, but yeah.
Oh, well, sure. Who didn't?
For whatever level, you need a lot of really talented people who are willing to donate their time, work on the weekends, flip flip up the schedule on the fly. It's amazing you guys were able to put together such a great film, and I really enjoyed it when I saw the screening at Motorco a couple weeks ago.
Thank you.
So what is next on the horizon for you guys?
Not a feature film with 40 people.
No, only 36 tool. Who wrote that crap? 36 people.
Yeah. Okay. So Tom says to me, he said, look, write a script for a low budget fantasy film, and that's the hardest thing in the world to pull off. Low budget fantasy.
Mm-hmm. Write me a low budget movie with a dragon.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Yes. That's Tom Gore. That's
Yeah.
Tom Gore. So I gave him 3 dragons.
3 dragons. That's
Three
that's a triple
Yeah.
fuck you, Tom.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, Bill pulled no punches with the script. 30
Nice.
people, 3 dragons, 2 villages.
Ah.
See what I'm saying about Bill?
No one lives in a village
Characters.
anymore.
There were several points where I asked him, do we need to not set everything at night? No. Just write it. We'll figure it out later. Okay.
Write a part for yourself, Bill?
Oh, he's got a really awesome
Yes,
part
I-
for himself.
See? Yeah.
This whole thing takes place at night in the rain, right? Am I right?
I wish.
Nobody ever gives the screenwriter. No one gives the screenwriter any love or credit. So you might as well, if you're going to write a script, write yourself a role, because actors get all the love.
And of those 30 characters, 24 of them are children, right?
And 3 animals and a goat.
That goat is crucial.
Oh.
That goat, that's the crux of the story right there. I hope it's a well-trained goat.
The greatest of all time.
Oh, and how about you, Alan? What's on your plate?
Well, let's see. So while Christine goes off and edits, we actually go off and make other films. So we've made what? We've shot what? 3 short films since we ended Fix It in Post.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
But yeah, I guess I'll let Christine talk about the next one because the next one is hers.
Yeah, The Tapping. We just finished shooting that one, so I'm actually editing that right now. And then after that, I've got Telltale Heart Sisters that I'm doing. It's going to be fun. But if you want to donate, you can go to sickchickflix.com and hit the donate button.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll definitely try to help spread the word because,
Okay.
like I said, I enjoy you guys' work and I want to see you do more stuff.
Thanks.
But yeah, this has been another episode of Local Film Talk. Thank you again to Alan Watkins, Christine Parker, Tom Gore, and Bill Mulligan for talking to me about their project Fix It in Post. DVDs are available. Where can people get those?
Adrenalinfilms.com.
Adrenalinfilms.com.
Yep.
Thank you for everybody, both our fans out in the audience for watching. And I hope
And you.
I hope the 4 of you will join me again sometime to talk about something else you're working on.
We'd love to.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
thank you again. You guys have a great night.
Thank you, sir.
You too.
Take care.
Bye-bye.